Hi y'all, my name is Bengal Cats. I am a Twitch streamer who streams Sims building, Sims gameplay, and a little bit of Disney Dreamlight Valley. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is currently chock full of speed builds, as well as some of my not so very legacy challenge that I've been a bit slow in editing and uploading. It takes me a bit longer to edit all of those than it does to edit a lot of my building. So today I am renovating 4 Old Mill Lane in Henford-on-Bagley. I'm using this house for my pink generation of my Not So Berry challenge. They are hopeless romantics. They want to become a novel writer, and it screams garden, and I'm obsessed with the exterior of this lot and the landscaping, the little pond that's in there. So I decided to renovate this house and eventually came to regret it pretty quickly. You can see I'm trying to give it this more condensed feeling of going through hallways. Really old buildings have very separate rooms like this. They're not open floor plans. So I was trying to stay true to that and was just finding a bit of a struggle because it's a shotgun house that's just long and narrow rather than, a box, which might have been a little bit easier if it was just a straight up square. So a lot of the stuff that you see me doing here, I end up deleting, going back, doing again, deleting again, just trying to figure out how to make it work. I'm a little worried as I was building in this. I was worried about gameplay in this house because I'm worried. I do end up leaving the staircase wide open and not putting any flooring in there, but I am worried about the amount of bouncing that might occur in my camera once I start playing, so I hope I don't have to move them into a different house because I do love this house, even though it was not exactly easy to build in. Now, even though this is pink generation, because it's on Henford-on-Bagley, I really wanted to add in a ton of green as much as possible because pink and green together are absolutely beautiful in my opinion. I really wish those 2 generations were right next to each other because whenever I build for Not So Berry, I really like to include colors of the next generation. So in this case, it's peach, but a lot of the pink stuff ends up looking a little bit peach, so I wasn't too worried about including it. I ended up putting the peach room downstairs because I found that worked best. It just really constrained the space for the library, for the office, to have a writing space, and for the family room. I was trying to make the library and office space one general area, and in retrospect, if I'd moved the stairs all the way over to the left on the side that the kitchen is, then that probably would have allowed me to put an office space that looked a bit better. But either way, what I don't like about it is that the office and the library are out in the open rather than being a closed-in space. And the only bathroom is the bathroom that's upstairs. So anytime anyone has to go to the bathroom, they have to go upstairs. I believe that wallpaper in the kitchen is Home Chef Hustle, and it is my favorite one to use in the kitchen. Anytime I can find a reason to use it, I use it, even if it doesn't perfectly fit my build. Now, this renovation did inspire me a bit to start renovating all of the homes in a separate save file. So I've started to do that with all of the homes that Sims naturally gives us. And my goal is to only ever use base game as well as the pack that came with that particular world. So for example, Henford-on-Bagley, I'm only using cottage living and base game in that save file. And I think it's super cool. I know I got rid of that wallpaper. I didn't think it was representing pink gen enough, so I had to switch it, and it broke my heart as I did it. However, I did get to use this wallpaper, which is my absolute everything. I am obsessed with this wallpaper. I just think it's too strong sometimes to use, especially in the red and green. And I know it's mainly red, but red, pink, you need red to make pink. So in my brain, it counts. Plus in Rose Gen, we did use a lot of pink because rose is a tricky color. You think red, but you sometimes also think pink. So part of the reason why I'm making this wall a solid color, or at least a simpler color, is because I was feeling like it was a bit too overwhelming and overpowering. And also when you're looking at it from the top floor, which I would be looking at both of those quite a bit, I just didn't feel like it matched very well if I doubled the wallpaper or put a plain color on top of the red and green wallpaper from Country Living. So I decided that I was going to change it just to make it make a little bit more sense, and it also kind of gives that more calming library feeling that you would hopefully get when you walk into a library. Now then I start futzing around with the roof for about 20 minutes, and it destroyed my soul in every way, shape, and form, and I think I ended up just going back to the original roof because it was not looking how I wanted it to look. Windows are my great struggle. I've progressed really far in windows. I was talking about in my Orange Gen video how I've finally become a bit smarter when it comes to placing windows and only choosing 2 or 3, typically from the same pack, so that way there I know they're going to match wood-wise and just kind of make sense together, but you also don't want it to appear overwhelming. And I have to remember, sometimes I'll go online and look at houses just to look at how many shutters they actually have, because sometimes it feels a bit overpowering, but they do have all of these windows outside and the house doesn't look crazy from the outside, so I don't think my Sims house would either. Now, this being my introduction into Peach Gen, it made me realize just how hard building for Peach was. And once you see my Peach video, you will witness my absolute struggle. Peach Gen just does not want to exist. It's like trying to build for Mint or maybe even Rose. Rose was a cakewalk compared to building for Peach. Mint Gen was tricky just because it was my first. But Peach Gen, when you see that video, once I'm able to post it, you'll realize that it was very tricky because Peach is, you know, kind of in between orange and pink, but you have to find the right shades and you have to make sure it all works together. And I end up using a decent chunk of light brown, more light brown than I would have liked, just to make it all work. So if as you're watching this video you like what you see and you would like to support, there are so many free ways to support. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel and you'll get updates, or you don't have to get updates of when I post new videos. I'm trying to post a speed build once a week, trying to get a little bit ahead of them in preparation for when fall comes, because fall is quite busy for me. You can also pop on over to Twitch if you want to see me build live and watch my struggle in action with live commentary, which is a lot more unhinged than my YouTube videos. You can find me on Twitch at Bengal Cats. It's the same as my YouTube. And I stream Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm currently doing my Not So Berry Legacy gameplay. And then I also stream Tuesday and Thursday nights at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. Tuesdays is normally for Sims building, and Thursdays is a bit of a wild card. Sometimes I gameplay, sometimes I build, sometimes I'm playing Disney Dreamlight Valley, or maybe something different entirely. I took a moment to pause because watching me adjust that roof was horrifying to watch, because I remembered the feeling that I was feeling when I was building it. I think I'm going to have a really tricky time when I start building for Green Gen soon. Now, I'm only at Gray Gen. I am not too far into the Legacy Challenge, but I'm very ahead of all the builds, just because I'm a much faster builder than I am a game player. And because I used green so much in this build, I don't really feel right using pink in my green build, especially because the Green Gen is not next to the Pink Gen in the Legacy Challenge in any way. It goes pink, then peach, then green. So I'm gonna be able to put peach accents, but really I want to strive to put blue accents in my green build. And I think it's gonna make me a little sad, but I think it's gonna turn out absolutely beautiful, so I cannot wait. What I also loved about this build is because I was renovating, I kept the pond in and I kept the exterior and the landscaping almost identical to what it was, and just added a few extra things that I would need, like a yoga mat, and they're gonna wash their own laundry, a little cooler for them. There's nothing that hurts more than when Tool doesn't work properly with The Sims. Now I know Tool is never going to work correctly on things like mirrors, windows, and doors when it comes to size, but a girl can dream, right? I think I end up leaving that door in and I'm just going to let it cut, and I'm just going to deal with it because I really wanted that door. But I did not want to make it 3 blocks, 3 cubes. Now we are getting to my favorite part of any build, which is the clutter. Now when it comes to my not so berry builds where I'm trying to clutter specifically for one color, I'll typically filter just for that color first, and then if I'm looking for something in particular, then I will X out of the color and go back in. You'll also notice in the kitchen I went back to that original green tile. I wasn't vibing with any of the pink ones, and my heart couldn't do without that one. And knowing me, when I build for Green Gen, I will put that in there again. Alrighty, y'all, so that is for Old Mill renovated in Henford-on-Bagley for the not-so-berry pink generation. If you liked what you saw, please hit the like and subscribe button. I'm Bengal Cats, and I'll see you on YouTube or Twitch.